Today I'm going to be setting up my Laurel Denise planners for the month of May. My name is Allison and I love planning, and I'm inviting you along to join with me as I plan. So today I have a small scout, a Franken-planned Kristy, a Joe, and a Rose. I am going to timestamp all of them in the description so that you can just skip to the ones you're most interested in. I'm going to start with my Rose because that one is the one that takes up the most of my stickers and how I kind of set up my month. This year I'm using my Rose as my goal planner. And for stickers, I'm using the banner sticker set from Laurel Denise. This is the current year, and then I also have some other ones that coordinate from last year's patterns as well. So I've enjoyed using them and making all of my planners match together and look cohesive. But I can't believe that it's already time to be setting up for May. We only have 20 days left of school because we get out pretty early. So I am super excited about that because that means in this planning that last day of school is going to be on the calendar. And it's nice because my husband and I just got back from a trip to Kentucky where we celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary. So that was a lot of fun. So I like to divide this. This is my goal planner, and so I like to put some of the different headings along in here to kind of divide out sections for weekly, monthly, daily habits that or things that I'm doing this month. So I just kind of trying to decide what I want to go where. Oops, if I can get that straighter. That'll be good. Perfect. And then let's do this one down the middle for the weekly. Right about there. Whoops, need to scooch that over just a little bit. Sometimes it's a little tricky if you're just eyeballing it, but I don't have the time to get out a ruler or count all the different boxes. Eyeballing it works just fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this here in the middle to label that as monthly. And then let's do this yellow down here for weekly. And then a little something here. We'll put this one here at the bottom for my daily things. I know this habit tracker, some people really love having it in the rows, and some people don't like it because they want their columns to go all the way to the bottom. They don't like the quote wasted space, but I like having it there because I get to put just a little bit of things down there for the daily habits. Okay, and then I have 4 areas that I have been focusing on this year. I have my family habits and goals, and then I have my financial ones that I'm working on, and then I have also my home habits that I'm working on for keeping my home how I would like it, and then I also have my health habits. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's see if I can find my pen that I like to write. This Juice Up .4 is really, really nice for writing in these small little boxes because it's just very fine point. And my daily ones down here. And then this is family. And then finances. Home. And health. Okay. And I have some family goals I'm not going to write out just because they're a little bit more private. And I think, let's see, that I won't put a week when I put my weekly stickers because I'll include those in the month before since that's when the weekly ones are. But for a weekly one, so I'll have 4 weeks to put. I like to put a little sticker here. So when I'm ready, not on camera, I'll put the week or the name of the goal there. And then I will just have a little checkbox underneath it with the colored stickers for each week that I do that goal or habit or whatever it is that I need to do. So there's that one. And then I like to alternate the colors. So we'll do pink for down here. I used to use a different goal planner. I used the Cultivate What Matters, and I still really like their system of goal setting. So I worked through it just based on the ones from last year, but used the goal booster pack from Laurel Denise and put it in the back of this rose. And I'm using this kind of instead of like attending sheets or something. All right, so then let's do this next one. On this side, what I do is I just write like a little daily quick, like 2 or 3 sentences about the day for a form of journaling because I'm trying to do better at that. So some of my goals, I want to pay for the kids' camps. Make sure those are paid for. I know photos might not seem like finances, but they're kind of expensive. So that's why I set them under here. Get family photos. I want to end the month with $200 more in savings. So that ends up to be about $50 a week. I want to fill out my stewardship form from last month. That's something I do for our church. That way I'm not like trying to log everything at the end of the year. And then I want to make sure I pay my tithing for the last month. Pay April tithing. Okay. So I'll put those sticky notes out here all the way. And then for my weekly one, I want to do YNAB, which if you've never done YNAB as a budgeting program, it's awesome. I love it. So I could do a whole video on it, but I won't right now. And so then let's do the pinks here because we'll alternate colors. And so I need to do that 2 times a week, every week. So put that weekly goals there. And I have some more pink over here. Okay, and that was my only weekly goal under finances. Under home, I need to clean the chicken coop because it's spring. It's so fun, but it's necessary. And it should be nice enough weather. I also, since it's spring, we need to deworm the chickens and the cats. And then one project off of my house list. And I haven't decided yet what that's going to be, so I will just leave a little space for that. Here, because I have a whole running list in my brain drop of projects to do around the house, and then one craft project also, because I have a huge list of that. I don't know if you're like me, but I have a lot of crafts that I've bought the supplies for and then just never finished them. So I've got quilts, I've got Afghans, I've got embroidery projects, I've got scrapbooks. So I need to choose one and do that. And then I need to put the recipes. I'm trying to tidy those up. So I'm trying to put those into Recipe Keeper, which is my digital keeping track of it. And also I have it in Notion for my shopping lists and such. And then I also want to go through my photos to try and clean those out once a week. So if you just look at the date from your photos, like if it's May 1st, and then go through all the years and just type in May 1st and clear out all the May 1st photos that you don't need, because who heavens knows we all have a million screenshots or like blurry or all that. So if you pick and go through just the photos from that week for all the weeks, then each year it'll get less and less that you have to go through, and your photos will be nice and organized. I've fallen behind on it, but you know what? Even every day, every little bit counts. Okay, and then last but not least, some of my health things I'm working on. So I wanted to create a list of healthy snacks because I have a lot of meals, but I feel like I don't do as well with my snacks. And then I want to have a driveway party, which might not seem like health, but it's more for my mental health and my friends. So I'm going to do that once the weather is nice. And then I want to take a walk with my husband at least once a week. And then I want to try and start exercising some more. So I'm going to start real small. Do 5 minutes of exercise 2 times per week, because I haven't done anything for a long time. So I'm just starting very small. Okay, I will admit that was on my goal list this last month, and it didn't really work out very much. I don't even know if I got it checked off one time. So that means don't give up, just try again. Sometimes though, if you start too big, maybe if I just did it like once a week, then I could actually get it marked off the list and I'd feel a little bit more, and then you can add to it the next time. But I still think 2 times a week is reasonable. Plus with school getting out and everything, then it'll be a lot easier to do something and get a little bit more exercise. All right, let's see. I need a couple little more pink ones. Let's see if these will be a close enough match that hopefully, even though they're from a different sticker pack, I don't think they're gonna be. They look almost identical, so perfect. Okay, and then I've written down my daily ones down here. I want to fill out my Scout finance pages and health pages and do my devotions. And so that's where I'll be tracking more of like my daily habits are in that health tracker. And so that is how I do my goal planner in the rose. My next one that I'm going to go into is, this is the Kristy planner that I cut out of the binding. And then I hole punched it and took the cover and decoupaged some of the Laurel Denise tissue paper onto a different planner cover that I had. And I am just trying it out. I am enjoying it so far, but I also really waiting for the release. I'm interested to see what the new layout they have coming here in May called the Luna looks like. So we'll see. That is supposed to be Mabby's favorite dream planner, and so I'm excited to see what that one might look like. Okay, so they don't have banner stickers created specifically for the Kristy, and so I've been just using these that are made for like the rose, and it actually fits pretty well if you're careful. And then I'm going to just try and get it on there. Ah! It's a little bit harder with the spiral. Okay. And the cutout. The cutout makes it the trickiest part, I think. Okay. Oh no, I ripped it. Ah! So sad. Okay, it's all right. It will be all right. We will just put it back on there and nobody will ever know except for all of you who are watching this. Okay, then I'm just gonna take some little sharp scissors here and then let's just do this. There we go. Okay, I am going to use this one here. This will be a little bit easier because I'm going to come from this side of it. And I'm going to go just to this line here as well. Get that out of the way, just in case. Oh no, I am having lots of ripping, sticky problems today. There we go. Okay, the reason that I chose the rose for these banner headers on here is because the week date number, oh, whatever you want to call them, the week headers or the day headers actually fit pretty close. So let's do this. We're going to start here, and I'm redating this. It was a academic year that I had as a Sunday start, but I'm redating it now as a Monday start. So that's why I've got to get all of these put in just right. Actually, let's start here. And if you see, it's not 100% even to the dates, but it is so close, much closer than any of the other layouts. So it's been working really well to just use these little headers. Okay. Try and get it somewhat straight there. Awesome. Okay, just snip that little bit right there. And then this little tab right here. There we go. And now that's how it's going to be now a Monday start. And I just have to go through and redate the days, which I am going to use these little date numbers here with the colors on them because I really like it. Okay, and that's how I'm going to decorate that. Then for the days, last month I went through and just like wrote them out, but this week or month I decided to just print some little stickers to make it easier instead of having to write everything out. So if I can find my correct dates to start out with. Okay, there's the redating done. I will save you all of my torturous decisions on decorating every page of the month or every week of the month because it takes me forever and I'm just so slow. But here's how it kind of has ended up being. When I plan, I do the first 3 lines are for my appointments and things. Then I have the kids' schedule, to-dos, and then my meal plan down here. And so that is what all of my month looks like. Since I did redate that, I need to go through and white out some of those holidays. Obviously, the Canadian ones for me don't matter. And so that's how my month is looking up. But now I wanted to go ahead and actually do some of my planning because I know a lot of times people come to watch planner videos, not just to see how people are decorating them, but to see what actual planning goes on in them. And so I'm going to show you how I do my daily planner here. Let me pull up my calendar on the computer because I keep all of my time-bound appointments on the computer there for the time, but then I transfer them into here as well. And so on the monthly calendar, I only put big things that are not our normal things. So like the kids' youth group at church. This deserves a special sticker because that day is our last day of school. Hooray! And so I just want to give it its own little extra pizzazz because who doesn't love the last day of school? Ran out of room. Okay, and then we have also, I know off the top of my head that this is Zachary's birthday. And then we also have no school this day because it's Memorial Day. And then summer school starts, which I'm working summer school this year. And then on this day, we are going to a Royals game because Trevor is wanting to do that and he's so excited. And then we're also going to the concert in the park. So that should be super fun as well. They always have a big thing down at Union Station and the symphony plays and they have fireworks and it's just a lot of fun and it's free. So there is that. Okay, so then let me see here. Those are the big things I have for the month right now. I might come back and fill some smaller ones in, but let's go through the week, at least the first week, and that way you can kind of see what I do for the week. So we have baseball practice from 6 to 8. And then Elizabeth has a volunteer thing called Horsepower, where they do equine therapy for kids, and she's a horse handler, so she leads the horses around. And then this is where it gets hard with that coil, to write up close to it. Okay, and then also on this day, let's see, he has a field trip. And then the next day, Charlotte has a field trip. And then, oh, this is very important. It's the Laurel Denise academic launch. And I will look back at my email and, oh, it's at 4:30, it looks like, my time. And then we have church that evening. And I'm not writing in work because obviously work every day. And then Charlotte has 8th grade dance here. And then we have our church here. And then for the meal planning, one thing that I liked about putting in these inserts is I have my meal plan that I wrote out for the whole entire year. So I'm going to pop those inserts out. And so I can go ahead and write it in. Now it might change that week, but at least it gets a start. So we have May 4th is curried chicken salad. Okay, and there, my whole entire meal planning is already done for the whole entire month of May. So don't have to worry about it except to look at it and tweak it as needed. So I will each weekend, I'll go through and fill out anything and then put in to-do lists kind of daily as they come up for the next day. And that's how I do my planning in my Kristy planner. The only thing left to put into here for the planning is that I love having a big dashboard space. When I was in a Nancy, I loved that huge dashboard space, and I don't have one in my Kristy. And so what I have started doing is I make my own. So this is just an extra piece of paper from the back of my Joe calendar that I'm not using. And so what I do is I have cut it out, or pulled it out and then cut off the little part where it's got the holes. And then I will take some tape, or you could use a sticker. If it's washi tape, it just needs to make sure it's a wide enough washi, because if you have a super skinny one, this does not work. And then make sure we get everything nice and flat and try and line it up. And then, okay, just like that. There we go. And I'm going to trim it. And then I take the last sheet of the month and fold it out here. And then line it up so that there's just a tiny gap. You don't want it straight flat or next to it, or it won't fold over very easily. And then press it down. So you can see there's just a tiny little gap there. But then what that allows is you can fold this dashboard in. I've got things falling out the back. Okay. So then when you are on your month, you can have this dashboard folded in. And I will put my monthly to-do list, and then I like to usually have some brain drop or notes or whatever, and then you could also fold it out and have extra space there. So it's really versatile. If you wanted, you could always have that folded under. And so if you don't want it in the way for the month, I just fold it to the next month's out of the way. And then you can see, then it just makes a nice little divider when you've filled it out. So that's my month of May in my Kristy. And I'll show you what I've been doing with my small scout. This I have been using as a health tracker and as a financial planner as well. And so I think I'd like to put a little bit of this decoration up here at the top, and that's not going to fit. So actually, oh, that might fit just about right if I did one of these, because this ties in really nicely with the colors of this time. And okay, so there we go. And then I can use this one on this side for the other half, and that'll work just perfectly. There we go. It's maybe just a little bit shorter, but I think it'll be okay. And then just cut that off there. Trim it to be perfect. All right. Okay, so there's that for, I'm using it for a financial tracker and for a wellness tracker. So I'm actually doing 2 months in each one. And this I'm going to just put like this here. And then don't worry, I'm going to cover up that little area with some extra stickers for fun. Maybe a little square of this in this corner here. I think that'll be cute. So this one also fits pretty well if you use these rose day headers, and just you can use those in the small scout. And I'm just going to put that like that. Here we go. And then just try and get as much uses out of everything as I can. And so then I just cut the Sunday off and put it this way. And so then I can use both of them from the one. There we go. Okay, and then how I turned this into my health tracker is I printed out these that I made in Canva, and they're just the right size, and they have like little icons that I track things. So like how much sleep I got, did I do my water, my steps, all of that type of thing. And so I just put those on here with a little glue tape. I enjoy doing my planners. It's kind of like my little bit of creative outlet for the month. And so I don't mind taking a little time to do all the little different things. But I know some people just want to be more minimalist and not, they're a little bit more, I would say I'm a very functional planner, because other than decorating kind of these headers and things that I'm doing now, I really won't put any other stickers throughout. Like I know some people heavily decorate with stickers, but It's just too much for my brain. So this is about as much decoration as I can handle. Okay, so back to these. There we go. All right, now let's just finish this little top bit here. I'm gonna put this maybe like right here. And then I'm going to put, let's do a yellow here and say May. Okay, and then back, oh, I'm going to put something there. Okay, then that is done for that. So that is how I have my little health tracker set up. And then my financial planner, we should probably put a little date on there as well. So let's do this. And we could do this brown one here. Let's put two of them together to equal a little bit bigger box for this one. There we go. Okay, and that's all set up as well. So that is how I have this planned. And so I will go through and I'll write the expected bills up here. And then I'll also put in our paycheck days. And I need to find some pins that I like to match that. And then down here, I will write what I spend, what Trevor spends, just to kind of keep track of a running budget that way. And then, like I said, this one, I will put in my daily different macros and symptoms and things. So that is how I do my Scout. My Joe, which is my family planner calendar. I'm just gonna put this right here. And then I do want to put a little label here. Since that's the last day of school, to mark it as special. And then there is no school on this day. And then summer school starts, but that should be okay. Alrighty. So that's my Joe. So I have my Rose for my goals, my Kristy for every day, and then I have the Joe for all of the kids' things, which I'll put their schedules up here, and then that meal plan that I wrote down, I will write it down here on the bottom, so then they will know as well. And then on the back of it, we keep our chore list, and so I just write their names, and then they have which chores they're supposed to be doing, and those are on Post-its, so I stopped having to like rewrite it each month. I just move the list from month to month, and their names rotate. And then I have my little Scout with my health tracker and then my finances. So thank you for sticking with me through this super long video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you are interested in trying any of these Laurel Denise planners, please check them out using my affiliate link, which I will put in the description. And then don't forget to use the code Allison10 for 10% off your order. And I will see you next month.